Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Livin here, and I want to give you guys a video today on some information on how the whole CTE process works. For instance, like what DICE is looking for when they drop a patch for the CTE, like how to know when this patch is dropped, how to know what they're looking for, and then how to report a bug. So I'm gonna go over all this really quick for you guys and just kind of give you guys a good push in the right direction on how to handle this stuff. So starting out over here, I'm right at the Battlefield 1 community test environment page. This is the avenue that I'm going to take you guys through. I will link this down in the description below on how to access this. So once you click on that, you're over here, so that you can kind of check out over here. You'll see patch news over here on the right side, and I'll click that. And it talks about the one of the new maps they had released. This is a little older thing that they had released, but I'm just kind of giving you guys an example of how they do this. And it'll give you an idea of the map and talk to you about what to look for. We're specifically looking for feedback on how it feels to play on. Are the capture points areas big enough, too big? Is the right amount of vehicles for the map? And it'll give you all that information right there of exactly kind of what they're looking for from you guys. So kind of a more direct approach than kind of a very broad approach at what bugs are and what those things are that I will discuss here in a little bit. So once you've done all of that, you can kind of look over here. They'll give you a link, and from here you can kind of just give you a quick run through off of this 8 simple things here that you can kind of judge in between if you like the map, and from non-enjoyment to the best map you ever played. So you can go run through that. That's kind of how they do that. Now that was a little older version that they had there. You can also find things that they most recently updated. Will be on the top of the page on the hotspot. As you can see, the most recent one was the specializations that they added, and you can click on that. When you read through this completely, it does make a thing down here at the bottom that says, due to the different release requirements for consoles is beyond our control, specializations testing will initially only be available on PC. Hopefully we can get it to console in a not too distant future. Want to just touch on this really quick. I made mention this in my last video, but I'm going to make mention of this again. It is not a 1-to-1 download ratio when DICE has a patch that they want to give us for the CTE. So PC and console versions is not directly a 1-to-1 download ratio. The reason being, of course, is still on the Xbox and PS4 platforms. The third party, Microsoft and Sony, still have restrictions and certain things that DICE has to jump through. They would like to bring this out equally as much as they bring the PC. As they said right here, it's not in our control. It's beyond our control, and because of that, they can't do anything about it. I do think this will be probably discussed more in the future when the whole situation gets smoothed out with everyone getting into the CTE and they've resolved all that. And so I'm not going to completely address that. I just want to make that up here really quick to let people know that it's not exactly going to be a 1-to-1 right now. And so you would want to, when you see these updates, you can see them here on the bottom. Of course, as well, when you log on to the CTE game itself, you'll be able to kind of have a good idea of what they have out for you right now. As of right now, it's just Lupco Pass that we're playing, but of course you would probably see a change in things the moment you would upload put on the CTE on your Xbox or PS4. So this is just maybe a quicker way. If you have it on your phone, read it on your phone, or you're on the computer, you can quickly check on here and see what's going on from there. So this is kind of a brief run through on to kind of get an idea of what exactly they're doing. What also helps too is you're able to see the little DICE logo over here to tell if it's a dev has replied and made any conversation on that, and kind of gleaning through kind of what their posts are can kind of help resolve maybe some questions and some issues you might have had, and you're kind of curious that if someone's asked it before. There's probably a good chance someone has. And the community itself, people are always discussing things on here, so you can always post and say things about that. Okay, so let's move on and talk about reporting a bug. So let's go over here onto the right side. This is where it says bug tracker. It'll say there on the bottom, it said read the bug report guide first. I'm going to kind of give you the kind of the rough version of that really quick. I will link that the whole thing down here. This is the whole thing that they're referring you to. I will link that down in my description below, so you can go check that out really quick if you want to find the more detailed and read that word for word. But let's click over here and let's go to report a bug, or let's go to bug tracker. Let's go to bug tracker first. And if you don't have an account, you're going to sign up for an account here. It's really quick. You're just going to type in the username you want and then your email, and it's going to send you an email where you're going to then sign up for the account, where you're just going to put in your password, and then you will have your account that you can then report bugs on. Now, once you're logged in, you will then be on the tab where it says View Issues, and then you want to choose which issue specifically you're on. So maybe if you're on the CTE, or if you're on the retailed version of Battlefield 1, you can report bugs still, not necessarily just be on the CTE, of course. And then if you want to look at all the issues, you can put them all together and combine both Battlefield 1 and CTE. So let's say, for instance, you might have a specific problem. Before reporting any bug, you'd want to at least check and see if that specific problem someone else is having. Good chance there probably is. And so what you'd want to do is, let's say you're having a problem with the 1903 extended. You just type in 1903, apply the filter, and then from there you will see other problems and issues people are having with it. And you can go click on the ID number and go look at the issue and see what it is. And if you're having similar problems, you can then add a note to that, and maybe any other file information you can give that would help out in that. And to kind of condense everything for DICE, so DICE isn't chasing different posts that are the same issue. You also will see certain ones that have been closed. You won't even be able to post on those. So for the ones that have been solved or resolved, or for whatever issue, they will have those there. So for instance, let's say you can't find it, nothing to worry about. What you'll do is you'll come over here to report an issue. From here you'll choose which platform you're using, the Battlefield 1 or the CTE. You'll select that, and then you'll come from here and choose which category, so what specific area of the issue you're having. You'll come in here and type, or you'll select which one, how often you can reproduce this issue. It'll talk about the severity of it. The nice thing about this issue right here is that on this side it will give you a guide on to what they mean by trivial to minor to major bug issues, and they give you examples right there, so you can get a more precise description on that right there. You can select which profile you're on, which what platform you're on here. So I use Xbox One, so it'll be an Xbox One. They're going to talk about what product version you've been using. If you've been using the most recent one, you're going to choose which is going to be probably the majority of the time. I'm going to use this one right here. They have all the other ones, the older versions up here, just in case maybe you remember some bug from a long time ago, and so that technically would be on a different version. But the majority of the time you're probably going to be on the most recent version, so you're going to want to just click the most recent version if you find a bug. You're going to put it like a brief description, like you're having problems with the 1903, you'd put the 1903 description right up here, a quick summary of it, and then you'd go into more of the description here, and then you'd give the steps if it's, how you kind of produce this issue, and if you can try to reproduce it, what steps you would take. So again, another thing down here for the files, and then you would submit your issue right there. Now we're back over here at the Battlefield 1 CTE page for Reddit. And this is that area over here where you can report a bug. It gives you the exact same thing you will see in that other page where I was over there with the bug tracker. I just kind of like the bug tracker a little bit more because it gives you that ability to search for the actual issue. Maybe if someone else has had that issue before, so we're not throwing a bunch of posts over the same issue again. A quick look off of Reddit though, sometimes you'll find some upvoted issues up on the top where you are having the same issue someone else has. Like for instance, this individual right here was having issues with Lepco Pass being kind of grainy and the FPS being kind of low, and so you'll be able to see issues like that, and an easy upvote there can kind of bring it the attention quicker, and again condense all those issues into one big issue for DICE to be able to see instead of them chasing around a bunch of little ones. So keep in mind that on this issue right here, where it talks about the purpose of this whole bug reporting system here is to keep things that are unrelated to bug stuff, for so instance like feedback and suggestions of what you think should be in Battlefield, or how you're liking the things in Battlefield or not liking things in Battlefield, or any questions that you have, you would leave it just into the actual Reddit page here, where you just submit a post, and that's kind of how you would go about doing things that would be unbug related. So of course, these kind of might all be basic things for some people, but there's a lot of people who are not familiar with this area, and I again wanted to give that video out and put that people in the right direction there, in order to just give some clarity to people who might have this as a completely new process to them. So hopefully that helps for you guys. I appreciate you guys being here. That's basically all for you guys today, and I will see you guys again in the next one. Have a good one.